Dude, the song that they played right before ending, R.I.P. Buzz Buzz. Oh my god. Oh my god, R.I.P. Buzz Buzz. I was told he's a rhinoceros beetle, even though I called him a bumblebee. Because, you know, Buzz Buzz, Bumblebee, all that kind of stuff. Welcome, everybody. This is Thorn with the Game Design Lexicon. Today, we are going to be playing another day of Project Space Station. Probably be playing it all day today, and maybe one more, depending on how good we do today. Now, one of the things that I did learn about my session last time was that there was a few things I did wrong. So I'm going to go ahead and start over from the beginning and plan a little bit better this time. Plan a little bit better. So let's go ahead and usurp this loading. Let me go ahead and just load the snapshot that I got here. Desktop, Project Space Station, bonk. And here we are at the menu. Joystick is working. How is sound? We getting anything? So, let's start a new mission. Call this one Thornbird. And we're going to plan our mission here. So, let's see. Probably want some music, huh? Keep forgetting that this one is a little quiet. So, let's get some VLC going. And then we will play another day of Project Space Station and hopefully do a little bit better this time. I'm going to do a planning straight up to have 2 research projects going immediately if I can. And do my planning on getting everything going up a little bit better too. So a little bit of music. There we go. That's the way. So let's start off by planning. Crew selection's pretty easy right now. So more crew. Let's see. Flight engineer, a lot of flight engineers. Flight engineer, shuttle pilot. So, grab both of those shuttle pilots. Actually, let's grab 3 shuttle pilots. That way we can have a spare. No, probably don't need that spare. Actually, I wonder if we should. No, let's, I don't know who's best to have up at the base, up at the top of the base, or up in the space station to help do EVAs. So we're going to have a total of 6 plus 1 crew members for each mission. 3 for each mission and 1 guy to do nothing but launch satellites, right? So electrical engineering, experienced 2 shuttle missions, extremely capable, knows all the ins and outs of every piece of space equipment. So this is the guy that we probably want for our launch, our never reads books, only flight manuals. We don't need to read all of this. So one of the things that I learned that I did as a mistake last time is I did way too much planning after I'd started my mission. So one of the things that we're going to do this time, launch scheduling, I need to turn off auto pack. Because we're going to do all of that manually. We're going to set it all manually. And let's go over here. Because they've already started putting people on the ship, and I don't want that. Because we're going to do all that manually. All that manually. Where's autopack? Autopack is F3, I think? No. F7? Is it F7? Which F is it? 3. There we go. F1. Weird thing for autopack to be, but whatever. Okay. So, let's plan some more. Let's see. So let's sink a bunch of money into, let's start off with modules. Oh, god dang it. No, 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 no. So let's sink a bunch of money into modules, because we're going to need some modules. One of the things that we're going to need, let's kind of plan out our space station here. So we're going to have 2 crew compartments. We're going to have 1 emergency module. We're going to have 4 power modules. Hangar. Let's get it all planned out here. So, start off with I always start off with our hangar, because this is where our shuttle lands, is on this side, right? So, put a hangar right there. Bonk. Come on. There we go. This is a radiator panel. Put this here. Emergency goes here. Let's put it a little bit more centered here. Bonk. Then we need another... Do we need another docking module? Can we just put like them back to back? That would be kind of neat if you could. But then again, we need... Oh yeah, you can just put them back to back. So that just means you wouldn't have any way to branch new modules off, which I guess wouldn't be great. Because we probably need... Let's see, this guy. And let's put him there. And we got this guy. I'm going to put him here. Actually, I may move these down. Let's do that. All right. And then communications module. Put him here. Can we? No, it's not going to like that, is it? Of course not. So let's put the communications module here. Right. And then we're going to put something in between there. What is this? Oh, the laboratory. Hell yeah, the laboratory. Laboratory can be centered there. Then we'll need another docking piece. So we're going to move this guy over here. Right. And then, oh, no, come on. There we go. There we go. So that's all the power we need. We got, I wonder if we should put that as a crew module. This is the laboratory. Let's rotate that over, put it here. And then we are going to actually put a crew module right here. Right. Put this docking module here. Then we can just move this stuff over a wee bit. And 1 more crew module, right? So what do we got here? We got 1 hangar, we got 1 comm, we got 1 lab, we got 2 power, we got 2 radiators, we got 2 docking modules, including the first one, we got an emergency, we got 1 crew, 2 crew. So this should do. This should allow us to have 2 research teams going at once. So let's go ahead and purchase everything, right? 2, 2, 2, everything else 1. Okay. See if I can remember that without having to go back here. So 2 of those, 1, 1. Come on, 1. Hangar module 1. Insufficient reserve funds. Am I already? Dude, I thought I put tons of fucking money in that. Shit. Did I just hit the wrong thing again? Budget. Okay, let's go ahead and dump all of our money in there. Okay. And module selection. Let's go back here. So let's go hangar module, 2 power modules, and 2 radiator modules, right? So that is literally like half of our funding right there. Okay, exit module selection. So now we have all of the modules that we need. We're going to go into space equipment. Let's see. Oh, shit. I forgot to reallocate the funds, right? So let's go back into budget. We can pull everything out of here. Put it into equipment. And we are going to need... let's do... how much are these? Spent 25 million. So let's do 7 of these because we're going to have 7 guys up there. Let's do 2 MMUs, 1 orbital construction pod. We are going to start off with 5 PAMs. We're going to need those up there as quickly as possible. I'm not going to bother with reserve fuel tanks. Orbital satellites, we're going to go ahead and grab 10 of these. 7, 8, 9, 10. And then we don't know what research packs we need just yet because I haven't decided which missions I'm going to do. Let's take a look at that right now so we know who we need. Start cancel view. And let me get my notes up here so I can take them. Okay. I took a whole bunch of notes on the tutorial and then didn't do it because I am a yokel. Okay, so let's do let's take a look at here. Biomedical. That sounds like it would actually be worth a decent amount of money, right? So let's do a biomedical one here. Let's see. Let's cancer research. Biomedical. Okay. Let's see. Conduct basic cancer research that will be directed towards understanding the causes of various forms of cancer and the mechanisms that spread them. By developing a new biological processing techniques, this project will isolate and produce new drugs for combating cancer. A number of spin-off pharmaceutical products will probably be developed, so we definitely want this one. We need a biologist. We need a chemist. We need a physician. And we need bio-res packs. Okay, so the next question is the next mission that we do we want it to be the same? Or do we want it to be a different type? Maybe material sciences, like semiconductors? Let's do that one. That one sounds kind of cool, actually. So, semiconductors. And this is material sciences. Okay, and this way we'll get everybody that we need at the very beginning. And we'll pretty much know when to send them up and all that kind of stuff, right? Research techniques for producing improved semiconductor material that consumes less power, is more reliable, and is lower in cost. This project will center around refining techniques for growing semiconductor crystals. Superior materials for semiconductors would improve the performance of microelectric chips, the foundation of modern computers. Well, awesome. We need a mat scientist. We need a... what do we need? A computer specialist. Specialist. And then we need a chemist. So we're going to need 2 chemists. And then these guys need mat res packs. So I'll write that down. And now I'm kind of curious about the chemist situation, though. I'm wondering if like that's going to affect anything, but let's see if we can get the crew that we need. We can also get our mat res packs, our res packs, right? So let's go into space equipment. We need biomedical res packs. Let's get 10 of these. 9, 10. And of course, this is just our initial supply, hopefully with a bit of additional funding. No, we don't need general. We need mat res packs, not general. So, doot, 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 and 10. So that should keep us going. We got $2.7 million. Is that $2.7 billion left? Hopefully that should be able to get our the rest of our crew going. So we need a biologist. We need 2 chemists, which here's 2. I think that's all there are in the game, honestly. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that is all there are. So let's go ahead and pull both of these chemists. Let me make sure. I'm going to read their description to see which one's more suited for each project. So the first one that we have is M. Felsbaum. I love that name. PhD in biochemistry, research scientist at the so biochemistry. So we want him on the biomedical project. So let's put him there. He advances in the fight against MS. Shy, boyish charm. Well, wonderful. Gotta love that shy and boyish charm. Ignores the swirl of controversy that surrounds much of his work. Intolerant of errors and dissent from his research team. Last book read, The Andromeda Strain. Nice. Gotta love when people love the Michael Crichton, right? Offended many for refusing to appear in a symposium on recombinant DNA research. Monsters or miracles? Okay. One of the most cautious and thorough. So I do want him on the biochemistry one, which leaves E. Finworth. E. Finworth. Is that like Farnsworth? For... Let's see. Current research specialist studying the synthetic of a number of organic chemicals, experience and techniques of purifying pharmaceuticals for experimental drugs. That actually makes me think he is going to be more suited to the cancer research one. Well, shit. Definitely a genius at work. Last book he finished was College Organic Chemistry. Discovered a catalyst for enzymatically converting vegetable matter into fuel. Ernest is very quiet, but when he speaks, he has something important to say. So, yeah, I'm going to, now after reading his bio, I'm going to switch him around, and I'm going to put Finsworth on that one. Okay. So, we now have our chemist. And I'm taking notes. Sorry about the pause here. So now we need biologists, physicians, mat scientists, and computer specialist. So don't need a physicist. We do need a physician. So let's take a look at this guy. MD research scientist at Stanford Medical Center. Her latest research is centered on innovative methods for reducing calcium loss in long-term bed rest patients, currently designing methods for applying these techniques to space flight. That sounds weird. Intensely dedicated and devoted. Allows herself a few diversions, a little leisure time. She knows incredible patience and remarkable sense of humor. That doesn't sound like cancer research material, so let's pass on her and find another physician. Let's see. Do we need a biologist? Yes, we do need a biologist. Let's take a look at Mr. Engstrom, PhD biology, molecular biologist, Space Science Research Division, Syntax Corporation, full backer in organic chemistry. A number of successes at new techniques for yielding pure and high quantities of rare drugs and vaccines. Let's grab him. Sigrid reflects many small-town values that were instilled in her during her youth, respect for community, and a sense of loyalty. She is fiercely dedicated to truth and has come to the disturbing realization that research is not pure, that the uses of science must be carefully considered, advocates passionately for social responsibility in science. This serious commitment to science. This serious commitment to science. That sounds like a typo. She spends long hours in the laboratory. Last book read, Self-Deception and the Cowardice in the Present Age. Last accomplishment, developed a technique for producing ultra-pure interferon that yields much greater quantities. Scientists must come grips with great social impact of their work. She's our conscious. Okay. So she is going to be our biologist for our cancer research. That is S. Engstrom. Nice. So we need a physician, a mat scientist, and a computer specialist. So let's keep looking here. Okay. Flight engineer. Did we have... we got 2 pilots and a flight engineer. Okay, that's right. Okay. So, flight engineer, computer specialist we need, right? Let's take a look at this guy. See if he matches the semiconductor project. I'm sitting here neglecting my coffee because this is so compelling. PhD computer science. Computer programmer and systems engineer. Previous work includes developing a computer tank simulator for the U.S. Army. Strong interest in computer modeling of real-world processes such as subatomic collisions. Seiko, his friends call him Saki, is one of a new generation of computer whiz kids. Computers have been part of his life for as long as he can remember. Stories of his programming prowess are legend. That doesn't sound like a semiconductor guy, though. I'm okay, you're 8K. Is that a real book? In a fit of... Actually, give me a sec. I'm going to look that up. I'm okay, you're 8K. So there's a self-help book called I'm Okay, You're Okay. So if there's a book called this, it would, I guess, be a parody of that. Maybe I should check Amazon. No results. No idea. That's disappointing. Okay, well, whatever. Onward and outward. Again, doesn't sound like our semiconductor guy that we need, so we still need a physician, a mat scientist, and a computer specialist. So, computer specialist we just looked at. Next, biologist. We got a biologist, but let's look at Mr. Pendle here just in case. See if he has a better resume for cancer research. And I see our materials engineer. Do we need is it a materials engineer or a materials scientist? PhD biochemistry, head of Myology Institute for the Study of Degenerative Development Diseases. His current work centers on understanding the mechanisms which promote the spread of... Oh, shit, I need him. Yeah. Let's get rid of Mr. Engstrom. Shit. Okay. Come on. I mean, I understand the reason for them to slowly print out the text like that. But it should, like any good JRPG, it should have a ability to undo it. Okay, so I am changing out S. Engstrom for Mr. J. Pendle. Let's go ahead and make sure he's removed from the project. No. Pendle. No. That's the guy we just added. We need to remove Engstrom. Did we not add Engstrom? Engstrom. Oh, there he is. Bonk. Crew member removed from space duty. Okay. So we got more of a cancer research guy now. Okay. Next, we need ourselves a physician. So let's take a look at the physicians. I wish you could sort them by specialty. Physician, L. Roth. MD, space therapist, physician. Previous studies include the effects of long-term space flights on astronauts. So that doesn't sound... There's another biomedical research thing where that might actually be useful, but not this one. This we need cancer research, and this is definitely not it. So let's cycle through, see if we can find any other physicians. Bonk. No. Physicist. Physician. V. Edwards. V. Edwards is probably the one that we're going to want, so let me go ahead and mark him down. Edwards. And of course, making sure that these research projects are successful is very dependent on making sure that you choose the right people for it, right? MD research scientist at Stanford Medical Center. Her latest research is centered on innovative methods for reducing calcium loss in long-term bed rest patients. So I passed her up last time, just so we could take a look at the other physician, and V. Edwards was definitely the right one, or at least better than her. She's more on, I don't know, some weird therapies. So we got our physician. Is V. Edwards, right? Is that right? Calcium loss. Okay, yeah, that is right. Okay. I wish I didn't have to click on her again, because now I'm going to have to wait for all this shit to print out. But I could drink my coffee. Okay, so now we need a mat scientist and a computer specialist. We need a computer specialist. We already looked at one, and he didn't look like he had much to do with semiconductors, so let's see if we can find another one. Okay. Computer specialist KO, was that the guy that we looked at? I think it was. Communications. Watch him be the only computer. Oh no, Whitling. There we go. He is probably going to be the right guy. Okay, PhD electrical engineering. That's what my dad had his degree in. Computer design and engineering, JCN Corp. Long association with the computer industry. Designed a 32-bit computer on one VLSI chip. Current research is in the area of robotics and artificial intelligence. So that definitely sounds like him, though his current project doesn't really look like what would be conducive, but I'm going to take him anyway. That's one of the problems, is there's a lot of guesswork in this, right? Reads computer magazines compulsively. Assembled a new JCN AT computer with his eyes closed during a company beer blast. That's my kind of man. I can redesign that piece of garbage onto 2 chips in under a week. Associates assessment. Jack is a spinning top, always making improvements somewhere. Jack is the one. So let's write him down. Computer specialist J. And Whitting. Now we just need a mat scientist, which I guess in this they call it a mat specialist, material specialist. Let's see. Materials engineer. And this is semiconductor stuff, so... And that's a break this Thorn with the Game Design Lexicon. We are currently playing Project Space Station for the Commodore 64. Wonderful 8-bit, mid-80s space program simulator. Really interesting game. We'll be playing that for the rest of the day today. If you want to follow us, hit the follow button down on Twitch, where we do stream currently Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, noon p.m. till 4 p.m. Central Standard Time. That's GMT -6. Or you can catch us over on YouTube if you don't want to catch us live. just hit the subscribe and the alert button and know we're coming out with new videos, which is pretty much every day. Otherwise, you can hit up any of our other social media accounts from... that's all in the information. Just hit the abouts on either one of our pages. I'm going to take a short music break, and I will be back with some more Project Space Station for the Commodore 64.